Hey, welcome guys. In this video I'm doing a review of the LG BP550 Blu-ray media player. Now it does support a pretty sleek and simple design, physically of course, and it's pretty small and compact as well. So I'm a huge LG fan. In fact, the smart TV that I have for 2.5 years is an LG brand. The soundbar that I have connected to that same TV is LG. I'm still using the LG G Watch R smartwatch for well over a year because I'm just such a huge fan of it. So I'm a huge fan of LG, but this Blu-ray media player sucks. Seriously, for $90 US, you could certainly get better. There's a lot more competition out there. Avoid this media player. If it was like $20, $30, maybe consider it, but honestly, I'm telling you this now, turn off this video because this media player for this price point is not that good. So because I'm trying to save you guys time in your life, just hit that like button, close this video. But for those of you still interested, I'm going to continue this honest review, and let's continue on. Now on the front panel on the left side, this is where we have the tray which supports CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray playback. That includes also 3D Blu-ray discs. And just over to the right of the disc tray, we have an eject button, power button, and the only USB port on the entire device. On the right side, there's nothing. Now over on the back, starting with the left side, we have the DC input port for power, an Ethernet port, HDMI output port, and a coaxial output. Unfortunately, there's no optical audio output, which is rather disappointing. Now this device does support XVID and DivX codec playback. It supports Dolby Digital surround sound and 3D video output from your USB files. On the left side there's nothing, and on the top side there's nothing really going on except for this label that comes with it out of the box, which has some logos for some of the more popular streaming services. And as for the power cord that comes out of the box, it's just a little bit over 5 feet in length. As for the remote, there's nothing really special with it. It's just a pretty generic remote. It's not too long in size, but what I like at the back is that it has this little dimple, so your index finger kind of just rests inside, so it feels a bit more natural to hold. I would have preferred if the play, pause, stop, and rewind buttons were directly above the control buttons, which point left, right, up, and down, and enter. I just kind of find it bizarre that these tiny home buttons and title buttons are in between there. Not a big deal though. Now there is a remote app you can use. This one is for Android. You can see it has a remote control built inside, and it was really difficult to find because there's like 10 different apps for TVs and Blu-ray media controls for LG products. But regardless, when you find it, you actually have the option to hit private sound mode, which will basically transfer the sound from your TV or speakers to the app instead. You can hook up headphones for private sound, as well as the shortcuts to some of the more popular apps that are available. Okay, so before I show you guys anything else, I just want to play a Blu-ray for you guys really quick. This thing plays CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays. The reason I want to just skip over Blu-ray really quick is because there's nothing really to it. There's not much to show you. In terms of quality playback, it depends on the video that was recorded and played back. It depends on your TV quality output. So Blu-ray is just very simple. It's like a VHS. Fast forward, rewind, stop, whatever. So I just want to quickly go over this for you guys. The TV has been muted for this review, so just ignore that. So here's just a quick demonstration. If I hit the info button on the remote, it'll show you like a timeline of how things are standing. As you can see, you can fast forward Blu-rays pretty quickly. So that's all there was to really show you guys. Blu-rays are done. There, you have it. Honestly, I want to get to the more important stuff. So this is the home screen. This is the main screen, and I find it to be extremely simple, a little too simple, too basic. So this is the home screen. I just went over to settings, and you'll notice that you have some quick shortcuts at the bottom if you go down. But if you highlight settings itself, you go more in depth. You have a lot more control options. You have like network, language changing. Want to go over to movie. Now you'll notice that you do have the ability to see some servers. So these are my media servers. There's Plex, but it doesn't work. You might get this warning if you're on a wireless connection saying that, hey, it's not gonna be as good because obviously Ethernet is usually the best. That's okay, my router is awesome, I don't care, I never have that problem. Just show you, and it will do nothing. Plex, it is there, it is set up, and it works with my other devices. This media player cannot play from Plex. This one over here is the exact same PC. It has files sharing with any device on my network using Windows File Share. So that's the most basic way of playing back media content. It's just open within my network. So same wireless error, and it's saying it has no permission, even though there's no permission set right now on purpose. it doesn't do it. So I can't play back from server content no matter what I try. It just doesn't seem possible. So if I were to plug in a USB stick at the front of the Blu-ray media player, go through here. So while in USB, there's one thing I must mention. Every time you plug in a USB for the first time, it'll create this Buddha folder. I'm not sure why. I think it's just creating cached data, which is not a big deal, so I just kind of tend to ignore it. So this thing plays AVI with DivX compression. It plays MP4 and MKV file types, which are very popular for HD content. It does support H.264 compression, does not play 4K. This video here is 1080p, which is supported, and it's an H.264. Now 90% of the time this type of combination is no problem, but for some reason sometimes I get this movie's not going to be played back properly. What I kind of find bizarre is that it's going to zoom in on the picture. So when you see presented by, it's going to be zooming in on some of the letters. So if I hit the info button, there you can see my timeline, and the fast forward and rewind, I notice is dependent on how the file was compressed. Sometimes it's slow to fast forward, sometimes it's super fast as it is now. It does not support H.265 compression. So I don't mind it not playing H.265 because it's still rather new, but I'm disappointed that it doesn't support 4K video at all. If you go to premium content, you have some quick shortcuts down here, but if you click on premium itself, this is where you have the full list of apps available. These apps will differ depending on where you live, so these are ones set to the US. If you're in Canada, for example, these list of apps will differ. It says more coming soon. I don't know if that's pushed through a software update, and I don't even know how to download software updates on this thing. There's no setting for it anywhere. So if I hit Netflix or Hulu Plus, it's horrendously slow. Like, I mean really slow. It takes a while to load Netflix. Even when Netflix is loaded up, I can hit play on a video. It still takes like 10-15 seconds to play that video. And when it finally does, it's very blurry. It seems to take a long time to buffer on just this media player. I've never had this problem with other ones as much. So there's something very strange going on with this media player. I just think it's just so slow at processing data that it just takes a while. So for this selected video here, just play it. It's gonna take a while. Selected it, and it's just gonna take its sweet time loading up. So the NVIDIA Shield would have been done by now. So even if I were to try to cancel now and hit the home button, the media player will go through so much struggling that it's gonna actually start freezing on me. It's just gonna be frozen for like 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. So I've already hit the home button, I'm still talking and waiting, so I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. So an interesting thing to know is that whenever I exit Netflix and I come back, I lose connectivity to my servers. And if I try to go back into Netflix, I realized that it actually disconnected the entire network connection on this media player. It just loses connection to my router and everything in total. So there's a way to fix the whole network issue, is you have to actually turn off the device and turn it back on, and that's how you get network connectivity back. So going into Hulu, it's gonna take forever to load up, just as much time as it does to take in Netflix. Actually a little bit longer. I will not be playing any Hulu video content because of YouTube copyrighted material. If I play something, it'll probably ban this video or get in trouble. So I'm just gonna be demonstrating the interface for you guys. I'm not gonna actually play anything, but keep in mind, one thing I noticed is that if I play a video, it will have constant buffering issues. So for the first 10 seconds, it'll play, stop, and try to load more video content. Then after maybe 15 seconds, stop, try to load more content, and just repeat. This is the only media player that gives me this problem. So this media player does have some positive notes, which I'll be listing on the side here, but I want to focus on the negatives because a lot of people will be like, well, from your demonstration, it was still decent. No, don't say that, because at this price point, there's a lot more competition where you can get much better Blu-ray media players or standalone media players that do the same but more and better. I mean, I expected much better from LG. It can barely play H.264 compressed files, which is the most common file type in the world, at 1080p or 720p. Sometimes it zooms in on the video, as I mentioned to you guys. Most of the time it's okay, but it doesn't play 4K files at all. At this price point, about $90 American, this should have been normal by now. This is the 4K day and age. Disappointing. Loading Netflix and Hulu Plus takes forever. Playing something in Netflix, it takes a while to buffer. No other device in my household has that problem, so it's not a problem with my internet. And of course, Hulu Plus just doesn't seem to be able to play anything. It takes forever to buffer, and it just keeps stopping. Avoid this media player. So if you guys found this video useful, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Instagram links. Hit that like button, it does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.